then, Martha. You're to mull the port, not broil it.
Here you are, my lady. This'll take the chill of the night out of your bones. Now you'll feel better, Mum. There's nothing like a spot of mulled pot to bring a glow to one's innards.
Stop your ceaseless chatter. I'm hours late for my bed. Now get about your business.
Yes, lady.
Martha.
Yes, lady?
My emerald brooch. Where is it?
Your emerald brooch?
That's what I said. Let me find it. Don't just stand there.
Yes, my lady.
I wore it only last week.
'Twas a fortnight ago, my lady, at Sir Malcolm's dinner. I haven't seen it since. 'Twas always in here.
Certainly. Now it's gone.
But it can't be, Mum. It must be somewhere about. The clasp was worn. Possibly you dropped it.
Nonsense. I distinctly remember putting it back. It's he. Just as sure as I'm standing here, he took it.
He? Who, Mum?
Who? Who? Why are you so dense? My rascally nephew. Who else?
Master John?
I'd suspect him of anything. For the life he leads, always in debt, gambling, fancy women.
But, my lady, I can't believe Master John. I'm sure it'll turn up someplace.
So am I. At a pawn shop in Soho. Here we go, Martha. And mind, not a word to the servants about this. They'll find out soon enough.
You wanted me, Nanny?
I rang for you, Priscilla. All Sydenham will know it by tomorrow.
No, what, dear?
My emerald brooch has been stolen.
Why, that's impossible.
No need to search. I've done that thoroughly. Come with me.
Where? What's all this about?
To John's room.
Why, John's room? He isn't in.
I'm quite aware of that regrettable fact.
Then why? You're not going to search his room.
Why not? Are you afraid I shall find it there?
I'm afraid you won't. No matter what you think of John, I know he couldn't stoop that low.
Listen to me, young lady. He deserves neither your faith nor your affection. Come along. Go on. Look in that cupboard. Well, go on.
I can't. I won't do it. It isn't right. It's sneaking.
And I suppose it is right to lie and steal.
But you don't even know the brooch has been stolen. You've no proof. Only your distrust and suspicion.
On the face of that, he's guilty.
Oh, Nanny, please. You're not being fair to him. It's not like you. He has no reason to steal. His allowance is ample.
Those are expensive luxuries. Now forget this fantastic ethical nonsense. Let's get on with this.
Even if he did take it, do you think he'd have it here?
That's just what I'm going to find out.
Can I be of any assistance, ladies? Inasmuch as this is my room, I know where everything is.
John, I didn't... Well, what I mean is...
No need to be flustered, my dear. You have as much right to be here as my darling auntie.
I am not here out of idle curiosity. My emerald brooch has been stolen.
Oh, how interesting. A brooch is stolen. Of course, it must be in my room.
I have every reason to believe that you took it.
Naturally. Who in all England could have committed such a dastardly crime? Only that scoundrel, John Bedford.
Your flippancy does not alter my opinion.
That happens to be private and personal.
Oh. Will you tell me what is in it?
I will not. And I might add it is none of your business.
Either you open it, or I'll call Sir Malcolm.
And cut me off without a shilling. Go ahead, darling. I've always expected as much.
Nanny, please.
I'll give you one more chance. Will you open this box?
Stubbornness is a family trait. You should know that.
I've stood enough from you. I've reached the end of my endurance.
Mine is slipping fast, too.
Priscilla, get to Malcolm on the phone. Tell him I want him here first thing tomorrow morning.
Manny.
Do as I tell you, Priscilla.
Yes, by all means, jump when she cracks the whip, Prissy, or she'll disinherit you, too. And now I'm going to tell you something. Ever since I can remember, you've hated me. You've resented my presence in this house. You've been just a meddling old fool, Auntie.
John,
Well,
where are you going at this hour?
out on my ear. Now, what happens to me doesn't matter, according to my loving aunt.
But she didn't really mean it. She was just upset. I know she's fond of you.
Don't make me laugh.
John, please don't do anything you'll be sorry for.
Don't worry. I never shall.
John, I didn't call Sir Malcolm.
You didn't?
No.
You're a good kid. Better call him in the morning, though, or you'll catch him. Oh, by the way, I have something to show you. You can burn them when you get through with them. They're really quite worthless.
Thank you.
Let's have a bit of Gus.
You're on the board, Harry.
Oh, well, you can wipe it off. And, keep the change.
Made a killing, did you?
Not off. Have a look at Treacle Lady in the fifth.
You had her?
5 quid on the nose. Skated in, too, she did. See, that Toff's back again. And he looks fair squiffed.
He's a regular, he is. But I ain't never seen him drunk afore. And he can hold plenty.
Give me another whiskey, Tilly. A long one.
Closing time, gents.
Can't do it, Governor. Closing time.
Well, how about a little kiss, then, for a night?
Keep your dirty hands off me. I'm a lady, I am.
Well, I'm a gentleman, so that makes us equals, doesn't it, Tilly?
He's pawing me, Gus. I ain't done a thing, I ain't.
Better go now, Governor.
Not till I get a whiskey or a kiss.
There's your kiss. Right in the smacker.
Come now, Governor.
You keep out of this.
Morning, miss. It's a pleasant day.
Just glorious. Here, let me take it. I wanted to have a real nice breakfast this morning. Oh, I found a new thriller for her.
After last night, the poor dear can stand a bit of cheering. Ooh, the cops with the 7 toes are horrible. Fair gives me the creeps.
She'll love it. That's her idea of light reading.
There's no accounting for tastes, now is there?
Wake up, sleepyhead. Morning, Nanny. 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 Martha. Martha Jepson.
Coming, miss. Yes, Mum?
Martha, something dreadful has happened. Jepson, will you call Master John?
Beg pardon, miss. Master John is not in.
Not in.
No, miss. It seems he never returned at all last night. His bed hasn't been slept in.
Oh. Will you please call Scotland Yard?
Yes, miss.
You were right, Inspector. Preliminary examination indicates death by strangulation.
Time?
about 8 hours.
Approximately 3 a.m.
There are no marks of violence. The murderer apparently wore gloves. The skin of the neck shows no abrasions.
Clever person. Thought of everything. Have the body removed for autopsy. Find anything, Dowell?
2 sets of female prints. One was the old lady's. The other had her fingers all over the place.
And likely they would be. If you'd done for a ladyship all these 20 years as I have, you'd leave your marks about too.
Oh, so they're yours?
They might be.
Oh, now, miss, I'd love to call you Martha. May I?
I say, you are a one, ain't you, Inspector?
It's been said, Martha. Now, just a few more questions, if you don't mind.
Sir Humphrey, couldn't you possibly take time?
Oh, my dear young lady, the case is in the best of hands.
I know, but Inspector Trent seems so young.
Yeah, he is young, isn't he? Capable lad, though. Broke several big cases. The Olmsted murder, the Frawley diamonds, has an unfailing quality. Bulldog tenacity. Never gives up. Ah, my boy, got it licked?
Not quite, sir, but I am beginning to see some light. There are several more points I'd like to clear up, if you don't mind, Miss Ames.
Not at all, Inspector.
Why do you suppose Lady Ferguson accused her nephew of stealing her brooch?
That's rather hard to explain. You see, Lady Ferguson was, well, rather arbitrary.
Well, you put Miss Ames in a tight spot, Billy. I'll help her out. I've known Lady Ferguson for years. She was as stubborn as an ox. Once she got a bee in her bonnet, all the king's horses couldn't move her.
I see. And obviously she objected to Bedford's mode of life, his extravagances, and felt that he would stop at nothing to get money. Is that correct, Miss Ames?
She may have thought that, but I don't think he stole it. In fact, I'm certain he didn't.
In any case, the two didn't hit it off very well together, did they?
Family squabbles don't usually lead to murder, if that's what you have in mind.
Stranger things have happened.
Ah, Malcolm, glad you made it while I'm here.
Hello, Humphrey. Hello, Priscilla. This is a horrible mess. Would happen just when I'm planning a shooting trip to Scotland.
Well, invite me along and I'll see that the inspector doesn't bother us. So, this is Inspector William Trent. Sir Malcolm Hewitt, Lady Ferguson's solicitor.
How do you do?
How do you do? Now, what have you found? Nothing, I wager. No clues, no evidence, no motive, eh?
I have a start, sir. We have found the victim. Perhaps you can supply several of the other elements.
Well, out with it. What do you want to know?
Who is Lady Ferguson's heir?
Oh, there are several small legacies, you know.
But the main heir?
Her nephew, John Bedford.
I see. Miss Ames, during the course of the argument last night, was there ever any question of disinheriting Bedford?
Why, yes, but it wasn't serious.
I think that'll be all, thank you. We'll send out a general alarm for John Bedford.
Do you mean to tell me that on the strength of that, you think John murdered his aunt?
Well, it is a motive, isn't it?
You see, Sir Humphrey, that's what I was afraid of.
Pardon me, Sir Malcolm.
Yes, Jepson? What is it?
Your office just called up, sir. I took the liberty to get the message. It seems they've located Master John.
Well, speak up. Where is he?
He's in jail, sir. He's been there all night. Wants you to bail him out.
In jail?
Yes, sir.
What next?
Well, Inspector?
Mr. Trent,
Yes, Robert.
just found this dress in her ladyship's closet. The housekeeper says this is the brooch Lady Ferguson thought was stolen.
That's the one. Now, what do you have to say?
Only that this is becoming more interesting than I thought.
I say, what's this all about?
Let's go down to the jail, Sir Malcolm. We'll try and find out. John Bedford, time of arrest 11:35 p.m. Charges drunkenness, disorderly conduct, attempted assault. Arresting officer D. Smith.
All in order, Inspector?
Quite, Sergeant.
I say, what do you make of it?
It's not so much what I make of it, it's what it makes of me.
Here's your prisoner, Sergeant.
Waiter, Scoggins.
Good old Sir Malcolm. What a head. Never again. Let's get out of here.
Is this your first arrest, Bedford?
I say.
Oh, this is Inspector Trent of Scotland Yard.
Hello. What's up?
John, Lady Ferguson is dead.
Really? She would pick a knife when I'm cooped up to give up the ghost.
John, your aunt was murdered.
Murdered? No. That is a bit thick.
Your grief is pitiful, Bedford.
Did you have me lie about it? I detested the old tyrant, and I must say she reciprocated.
In other words, you're not at all put out by her death.
Not a bit. In fact, I benefit considerably by it. Don't I, Sir Malcolm?
I'm afraid you do.
With such devotion, you might easily have done away with her yourself.
With pleasure, except for one slight detail. Those bars are rather confining.
And very convenient.
Yes, quite. Well, cheerio, Inspector. I'll be seeing you.
I'm sure you will.
Coming, Sir Malcolm?
All right, John.
Here already, my boy? Oh, all night, eh? Any, progress?
Progress? Certainly. 48 cigarettes and 14 miles worn off my boots.
So the Ferguson case has got you down.
On the contrary, it's got my dander up. Look, there was no sign of forced entry. Therefore, someone with access to the house must have done it. Well, I'm convinced the servants are beyond suspicion.
Righto. That leaves only Priscilla and Bedford.
Well, I'm pretty sure the girl didn't have anything to do with it. But let's leave that in abeyance for the moment.
Oh.
There was no evidence of burglary. In fact, there's only one motive and one possible person with that motive. John Bedford.
Excellent logic, my boy. The only trouble is he was safely in the clink.
Which gives him a perfect alibi and gives us an almost perfect crime.
Yeah, of course, some other chap could have done it.
That's what I want to find out. Bedford could have hired someone to murder his aunt, given him the keys to the house, and then had himself thrown into jail.
Fiendishly clever, if true. Well, where does that take you?
Back to the night of the murder and the steps leading up to John Bedford's arrest. Well, I think I'll run over to the club and freshen up a bit for the chase.
One other thing, Billy. What about the young lady you're holding in abeyance?
Miss Ames? Well, I've investigated her pretty thoroughly, sir. And I am convinced of one thing.
What's that?
She cordially dislikes me.
Oh. Does it, bother you?
Not in the slightest.
What'll it be, Governor? Well, what is it? What's up?
Just want to ask you a few questions about that chap Bedford who came cropper here the other night.
Oh, him. He was a good customer, he was. I holds nothing against a bloke when he's in his cups.
Say, Trent, perhaps I can help you. You know the old saying, old boy. When you want milk, go directly to the cow. Can I buy you a drink?
Thank you.
Whiskey?
Yes.
Oh, Gus, one whiskey.
Right-ho.
Oh, I beg your pardon. This is Miss Gracie Holland, Inspector Trent at Scotland Yard.
How do you do, Miss Holland?
Sit down.
Thank you.
The inspector here has been trying to keep me out of trouble. It seems as though my being arrested the other night proved quite embarrassing to him. Isn't that right, Trent?
Momentarily, yes. Gracie Holland, aren't you the new star at the Empire Music Hall?
Yes, that's me. Have you seen the show?
Not yet. But now that I've seen you, I'll be sure not to miss it.
Oh, by the way, Trent, about the other night. This is one of my favorite retreats. Been coming here for years. You know, I was never that pickled before. It must have been the result of the argument I had with my aunt.
I see.
Anything else?
No, I think that will be all. Cheerio. Here's hoping you keep out of jail.
Don't worry.
Knocking wood, huh?
Always do.
Well, I'm sorry. I'll have to be running along. I'll be sure to drop into the theater to see you, Miss Holland. Cheerio, Bedford.
Cheerio.
What's he want with you, Johnny?
Not a thing, darling. Just seems to have taken a fancy to me.
You don't think, Miss Priscilla, that Master John will be making any changes now that everything is settled, do you?
In the household? No, you may assure the servants on that score.
It was of you I was thinking, miss.
Oh. Well, as Lady Ferguson's ward, she provided for me. I may stay on here as long as I choose. Of course, there were other considerations.
Yes, the poor dear remembered everybody. And I'm so glad you got the brooch and not Master John.
Now, Martha.
Inspector Trent is here, miss.
Oh, ask him to come in, please. Martha, pour another cup. Perhaps the inspector will join me. Hello, Mr. Trent. How's the law?
Still in effect.
You're just in time for tea.
Oh, thank you. I happened to be in Sydenham this afternoon, so I thought I would drop in.
I'm so glad. It's getting a trifle lonely around here.
One, please. Yes. This isn't a very cheerful place for,
For what?
well, for youth.
Oh, that's a very pretty compliment from a busy man. Tell me, are you still putting people in tight spots, as Sir Humphrey would say?
I had hoped this would be a social call.
You don't really want me to believe that, do you?
All right. John Bedford murdered his aunt.
Can you prove it?
That's something else again. You see, I believe he deliberately had himself arrested that night and hired someone else to do the actual killing.
Oh, that's utterly fantastic.
Not nearly as fantastic as my killing my aunt and being in jail at the same time, is it? I heard voices down here, so I thought I'd intrude.
Inspector Trent was paying a social call.
No need to apologize for his presence, Prissy. Look, old man, why don't you stop wasting the taxpayers' money and find the murderer?
I have found him. Now I only have to find the proof.
Good. We'll do that and stop bothering us.
I told you, John, Inspector Trent was paying a social call. He had no intention of bothering us.
Well, I must say it's a bit thick having him in my hair everywhere I turn.
Well, I'm afraid you'll have to get used to that, Bedford, because I don't intend to give up.
Very good, sir. That'll be all for now.
Fine.
Have you decided on the material?
Not yet. It's a choice between... Hello, Sir Humphrey. Look, will you have a look at these? Which do you prefer?
Aren't they both a bit dashing?
Do you really think so?
Quite.
Good. I'll take them both, Randall.
Why, thank you, sir. I'll call you for a fitting. And thank you, Sir Humphrey. Well, I see you're making progress along one line anyway.
Yes. She no longer cordially dislikes me.
Still convinced Bedford's guilty?
More than ever.
How are you going to prove it?
Well, I feel if I hit on the right procedure, I'll ultimately break him down. I've already gotten his hair.
Sounds like a long and tedious process.
Do you mind if I have a shot at it?
Not at all, if we get results. Of course, those suits you've ordered should help. They'd break anybody down.
That's what I hope.
Oh.
From here on in, I know just where we're heading. From here on in, it should be easy sledding, 'cause I can see it so clearly, this thing that we nearly missed, when I said I'm yours sincerely. I proved it when we kissed. From here on in, those little dreams I sold you will all begin to come true like I told you. Though I have never been lucky, this is one bet I'm going to win. It's you, my dear, from here on in.
I know nothing about horses. I just picked them by hunch.
Is that so?
The winner's name appealed to me. Persistence. It's a good name, then. Persistence.
Why do you bring me to this horrible place?
I have a reason. Besides, I think it's very charming. So exclusive.
All right, old man. Come along, come on.
Pardon.
She'll be all right. Here,
You can't throw me out of here.
Sure.
I'm as sober as you are.
You see?
Why can't we go to the Dorchester or Claridge's like we used to? You're ashamed of me, that's what it is. You don't want to be seen with me now.
Oh, don't be ridiculous.
You're not fooling me, John. Now you're master of Turret House. You've got high and mighty ideas. I'm not good enough for you.
Will you stop that incessant haranguing? You ought to know by now how I feel about you. Besides, I told you I had a reason. Well, let's get out of here. I'm in no mood for this sort of thing tonight.
What's come over you anyway?
Come on.
That'll be half a crown, sir. Thank you, sir.
Hi, Governor.
Scoggins, what are you doing here?
Now, that ain't no attitude for you to take to an old pal.
What the devil do you want?
Oh, just a little bit of the necessary. You see,
I paid you well for what you did. More than I agreed to. Now, let's forget about it.
Well, it's like this, Governor. You see, letting you out of the clink for an hour just to play a practical joke on your friends is one thing. Murder is another.
Why, you...
Now, hold off, Governor. I ain't accusing you. But I just got to thinking what an horrible thing it would be if the bobbies did find out you was going for that hour. And you benefiting as you did by the old lady's death. Be a bit hard to explain, you know. Now, wouldn't it?
You fool. Don't you come here again.
All right, Governor. You give me a little bit of the necessary, I'll be going. Now, don't fret yourself with no details, Governor. Good night.
Priscilla.
I heard voices, so I came down to see who it was.
Of course, you heard the conversation.
No, but I gathered there was an argument.
I will not have you snooping around me.
It wasn't snooping, John.
I'm quite capable of handling an argumentative cab driver, or anyone else for that matter.
I'm sure you are.
One of the things I detested most about dear old Aunt Lizzie was her prying into my affairs. Now that she is gone, I will not tolerate that from another source. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, John. It's quite clear. No, I never realized how much there is to this criminal investigation work. It's really very thrilling, Inspector.
I haven't always been an inspector.
Oh? What were you before?
Well, once I was just Bill Trent. In fact, some of my closest friends still call me Bill.
I see, Bill. Well, tell me, what did we hear, Inspector? I mean, Bill.
That's better. This is our exhibition room. Or, as we call it, our proof room. You see, most people don't think we solve crime, so we bring the skeptics up here and show them these relics. They speak for themselves.
Ghastly, aren't they?
Yes. My job doesn't always result in such pleasant association.
Oh, thank you.
Most criminals are not caught by the clues they leave behind, but eventually give themselves away by weaknesses in their own characters.
I see.
Now here, for instance, in one of the worst series of murders in the last 10 years, the murderer was ultimately caught by a rather high-pitched sneeze.
Oh.
It was heard at the scene of the crimes and later associated with the criminal. Hay fever gave him away. This was the murder weapon. 3 people were killed by it.
Oh, dear, dear. It's warm in here, isn't it?
Oh, your brooch.
Oh, yes, the clasp is always under.
Well, let me have a look at it. Perhaps I can fix it. Well, this is too valuable for you to be wearing like this. Let me have it mended for you.
Oh, please don't bother.
That's all right. I have an excellent jeweler. Besides, it'll give me another excuse to see you.
All right.
Shall we continue our tour?
There you are, sir. And I must say, it does something for you.
Yes, it certainly does. I don't know quite what.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll fetch the trousers.
What, no pearl buttons?
It's not what you'd call conservative, sir. It was ordered the other day by a chap who seemed to have a great deal of money.
And very little discrimination.
Perhaps you know him. He works for the police force.
Oh, does he?
He's a turnkey or something of that sort. A chap by the name of Scoggins.
Scoggins, did you say?
Yes, sir.
Oh. They're quite expensive, aren't they?
20 guineas. And he's ordered 3 of them, as you can see.
You don't happen to have his address on your books, do you?
No, sir, he didn't leave his address. He said that he could always be reached at a pub called the Lion's Head.
Oh.
Have another, mates. It's all on me.
Yes, I'll have another pint of bitter, Gat.
I'll have the same. As I was saying, this bit of jam gives me the eye, she does. So I see she ain't half bad, so I... Hi there, you, Governor. What about joining my party? I hate to see a bloke drink alone.
I'd be happy to. But go on with your story. It's quite amusing.
Well, that's all there was to it.
Go on, Scoggy, give us a topper.
That's all there was, so help me. How much, Gus?
That'll be 17 and a tanner altogether.
17 and a tanner? Here, I'll keep the change.
Thank you, Scroggy.
Lose a rich uncle?
Made a killing on a 4-legged one, I did. Ain't that right, mates?
All right, oh. Yes, he picked a winner, that's what he did.
Well, it's nice work if you can get it. Cheerio.
A suspicious-looking bloke, Scoggy. Who is he?
I haven't the slightest. Must be some sightseeing swell. So I thought you might be interested. You see, I know how these blokes work. It ain't likely he dropped in only for a drink. Not at the Lion's Head, it ain't. You better see me tonight, Governor.
But I can't see you again. That's one thing we must avoid. All right. Tonight at 11 at...
Righto, Governor. I'll be there. Well, drink up, mates. Looks like I picked another winner. It's you, Governor. Now, you fair give me a start you did coming out of that fog all creepy-like.
Well, what have you to say?
Well, without beating about the bush, it's like this. That detective's got his finger on me.
What of it? You don't know anything.
Ah, you're right there, Governor. But my nerves ain't too good. I had an accident when I was a little nipper, and, well, I don't think I could stand a grilling without, cracking.
I see. What tonic will strengthen your nerves?
Well, I got to thinking about...
How much?
How's about 1,000?
Why, you dirty blackmailer.
Now, hold off, Governor. I was only suggesting.
You fool. Don't you know you can't commit me without incriminating yourself?
Let go. You're choking me.
No. We don't want any more accidents, do we?
No.
I'll get you the money on one condition.
What's that, Governor?
You make arrangements to leave town at once. Inform your landlady you're going out of town. Give up your job tomorrow.
Wouldn't that look bad?
I'll worry about that.
When do I get the money?
Tomorrow night, 10 o'clock. Here.
Can we make it some other place?
I said here.
All right, Governor. Here it'll be.
Will you come in, sir?
What a pleasant surprise.
I hope it will be, Priscilla, but I doubt it.
Oh, is anything wrong?
Yes, but first let me return this to you.
Oh, my brooch. You had it fixed.
I'm afraid it can never be fixed.
But...
It's not the clasp, Priscilla. The stones are fakes. They're worthless.
But it's been a family heirloom for generations.
Are you forgetting it was missing for some time?
What do you mean?
I believe John Bedford really did steal the brooch, changed the stones and sold the real ones. Then he returned here and pinned it to the dress that was found in Lady Ferguson's closet. Oh, I know it's hard for you to accept, but I believe it's just as true as Bedford's having murdered his aunt.
You still believe that?
More than ever. There was a turnkey on duty at the jail on the night of the murder. Recently, he's been seen spending a great deal of money, far beyond his means.
Well, what does that prove?
Well, if I'm correct, he let Bedford out of jail long enough to commit the murder, and now he's blackmailing him.
That seems terrible.
Well, at least you're not calling it fantastic, which is something. And now, will you do something for me?
What, Bill?
Be careful. For your own sake and for mine.
Yours?
Yes, I don't trust Bedford. I don't want anything to happen to you.
Here's a bit of something to carry you through till morning, miss.
But I'm not at all hungry, Martha.
So I noticed at supper. You hardly touched your food.
I feel very well.
And I know why. You're in love, that's what.
Oh, really?
Shows out all over you.
Oh, Master John's in.
Master John came in a short while back. A large package with him.
Oh, he must have bought some records. That's a new one.
Happy he seems too. Whistling and singing along. It's about time is all I can say. There's been little enough happiness around here of late.
I'm happy, Martha. Wonderfully, thrillingly happy.
Then take a bite of food. You can't live on love alone, you know.
Hi, Governor. I thought she was going to give me the go-by.
I said I'd be here at 10 o'clock. It is 10 o'clock.
Ah, you're a gentleman of your word, you are. Now, what about getting down to business?
That's what I came here for. To get down to business. Cigarette?
Don't mind if I do.
Who is it?
It's I, John.
Oh. Just a minute, Frizz.
I enjoyed your concert.
I'm so glad.
I thought you might like something to eat before you go to bed. Martha brought me a tray earlier.
Well, that's very thoughtful of you. I think I could stand a bite.
Oh, I'm sorry. How careless of me.
Oh, it was really my fault. I shouldn't have tried to grab them. Don't bother. I'll clean out.
Oh, the Moonlight Sonata. What a shame.
Oh, don't worry. I can get another one.
I'll get one for you.
I said forget it. Sorry I was so sharp, Chris. I guess I'm rather tired. Would you like to join me?
No. No, thanks. John, there's something I must tell you. It's been troubling me.
Yes?
Inspector Trent was here today.
He seems to have taken quite a fancy to you.
It wasn't entirely a social call.
Oh.
John, Nanny's brooch was tampered with. The emeralds in it were replaced with imitations.
Well, that's too bad. Why are you telling me this?
Inspector Trent believes that you did steal the brooch.
So I substituted the stones, and I murdered my aunt. He's making me out quite a villain.
He's convinced you are.
Tell me, Prissy, do you believe this?
I don't know, John. I don't know what to believe. I want to believe you. I've always trusted you. Tell me the truth, John, please, whatever it is. Tell me the truth.
Don't you know it's harder to prove innocence than guilt? I could insist on my innocence till doomsday. But unless you trust me, I shall fail.
I want to trust you.
Then forget all these silly stories. They don't mean anything.
Thank you, John. I feel much better now. Good night.
Good night, Prissy. Pleasant dreams.
So this Scoggins is the turnkey.
That's right, sir. I think we'll be able to get what we want out of Scoggins.
Yes, sir?
Grayson, I want you to go out and get... Wait a minute. Hello? Trent speaking. What? The body in the Thames? All right, all right. Turn it over to Inspector Petrie. I'm busy. What did you say the name was? I see. Well, that's that.
You were saying, Inspector?
It's all right, Grayson. You can go.
Yes, sir.
There goes our case, Sir Humphrey. Scoggins' body was pulled out of the Thames early this morning. Coroner says death by drowning about 10:30 last night.
That Bedford seems a very lucky chap.
Yes. I wonder if he isn't just a bit too lucky. Is he at home now?
I believe he's upstairs. He went out early this morning, but returned about an hour ago.
But you're certain he was at home last night?
Positive. He was singing and whistling with his Victrola all evening.
And he never left the house for a short while, say about 10 o'clock?
He couldn't have. I remember Martha brought me a tray about 9:45. We both heard John and commented on his gay mood. I heard him from that time until I went into his room.
What time was that?
I'd say about 10:15. Bill, will you please tell me what this is all about?
That turnkey, Scoggins, was drowned last night, and I suspect it was not accidental.
Aren't you going a bit deep with your suspicions about John?
Scoggins' death would be very convenient for Bedford if my theory is correct.
Oh, your theories again. Why don't you get some facts? First, your theory about his switching the emeralds. Then your theory about his murdering Lady Ferguson, and now this. All based on circumstantial evidence. The trouble is, your ego won't let you admit you're wrong.
Bravo, Prissy. An excellent defense of me. I shall retain you as my lawyer in the event it becomes necessary. I was just reading about the death of that chap Scoggins. Too bad. He seemed a pleasant little fellow.
I'm sure his passing left quite a void in your life.
On the contrary, it doesn't mean a thing to me. I'm so glad I was safely at home last night. You might have had a wild idea that I had something to do with it, just because I once met the chap.
That's exactly what Inspector Trent believes, John.
Really? You know, old boy, you seem to be working too hard. I'd advise you to see a good psychiatrist. I understand the Yard has an excellent one. Well, I must be running along. The inspector knows all my haunts, if he should be looking for me. I shall be dining with Miss Holland.
Sorry I let fly at you, Bill.
Did you actually see him last night?
Only when I took the train to him.
Come on, let's have a look at his room.
Well?
Would you remember those records he played last night?
I think so. Several of them were broken.
Let's see them. What's wrong?
This record. The Moonlight Sonata. It was one that was broken last night. I'm sure of it. I saw it myself.
Then he must have had duplicates made.
I don't understand. Why?
Look, it's very simple to re-record a record, adding your own voice, singing or whistling. There are dozens of places in London that do that sort of thing.
You mean we didn't really hear John last night? What we heard was specially prepared recordings made for that purpose?
That's right. And the very fact that you thought it was he shows how cleverly he devised his alibi. This machine plays 12 records. That would give him about an hour to slip out of the house, murder Scoggins, and return. During all of that time, you and Martha would have thought he was comfortably relaxing in this room. Don't you see, the methods in both murders are exactly alike. The carefully planned alibis. That night in jail. His apparent presence here during the night of the second murder.
Yes. It's all beginning to fit in now. Why, I remember last night when I tried to help him pick up the broken records. He was quite upset. He almost tore them out of my hand.
Naturally, he wanted to conceal the duplications. What became of the broken pieces?
Well, he put them in the coal scuttle.
They're not here now.
That's odd.
That young man thought of everything.
You rang, miss?
Oh, yes, Martha. Did you see any pieces of broken records around here this morning?
Well, no, miss, I didn't.
Martha, did Mr. Bedford carry anything out of the house with him when he left this morning?
Well, now that you mention it, I believe he did, sir. It was a package, quite large. I thought he was going to post it.
Was Mr. Bedford in the habit of posting his own mail?
No, sir. Jepson or I usually did it.
Thank you, Martha. That's all.
Now we'll never find those records. It looks as if he's done it again.
Bill, that's a shame.
Priscilla, listen. That business of knocking wood. Is Bedford superstitious?
Why, yes, he always has been. He won't even walk under a ladder.
I've got it. But you must help me.
Oh, with that kind of bribery, how can I resist? What do you want me to do?
Arrange a dinner party here for some night in the near future.
Right, how about next Saturday, the 13th? That would have been Annie's birthday.
Perfect. We couldn't have picked a more ideal time.
But I don't follow you.
Well, follow me now. We're going to visit an old friend of mine, a famous actress, Vera Cavanaugh. And you, darling, are going to act as a dramatic coach.
Mm-hmm. You flatter me, Billy. Lady Ferguson was a very fine-looking woman.
So are you, Miss Cavanaugh.
Don't answer her, Priscilla. She's just fishing for compliments.
Yeah, but artistry alone can't duplicate that kind of looks. You have to have the right foundation, like your Miss Ames here.
You also have to have the artistry.
I wouldn't take that from a detective, except that they don't know any better. The last time I collaborated with you, Billy, in the interests of justice, I almost got a bullet in my back for my trouble. What's in it for me this time?
The most I can promise you is strangling.
Oh.
This is no ordinary killer. He's an artist with a delicate touch who wouldn't stoop to the use of weapons.
Oh, you make it sound most enthralling. Come in.
You'd better be making up, Mum. It's 20 minutes of curtain time.
All right, Elsie, run along. Well, when do I get my lines?
Tomorrow, and Miss Ames will spend as much time with you as you want.
Yes, I'll bring you your wardrobe then.
As worn on your last night.
Ooh.
You understand fully what you have to do, don't you?
Perfectly. Haunting houses is no novelty to an actress in these days of the theatre's decline.
And you won't fail me Saturday?
I never missed a performance in my life, Billy. No power on earth would keep me back.
Good. You're a darling.
You're rather cute yourself. Wish I were 10 years younger.
10?
Well, 20.
Goodbye, Miss
Goodbye.
Well, to your success.
To Lady Ferguson's ghost. Oh, Jepson, wait for a moment, will you? One final word before our honored guest arrives. You all understand how you're to act? When Miss Cavanaugh enters, we're to remain completely unaware of her presence. We'll pretend not to see her. No matter what happens, she must exist for no one but John Bedford. Is that clear?
Yes.
I feel that Bedford suspects a trick, and he's just vain enough to try and prove his ability to master it.
But, Inspector, why should you think that John would be tricked by your ruse?
He's superstitious in small things, so he'll be superstitious in large ones, too.
Well, you picked the right night for your experiment. I expect every ghost in the country will be abroad tonight.
You're going to make us look awful fools if this proves a dud.
I'll be the one who is the fool. If I'm wrong about this, I'll hand in my resignation. Oh, Jepson, you will serve as if nothing were happening.
Very good, sir.
And take care of the lights and other details.
Yes, sir. Oh, good evening, Master John.
Good evening.
The guests have all arrived, sir. They're having cocktails in the living room.
I don't mind telling you, Jepson, I gave up a good party to come to this. I hope it's worth it.
I'm sure it will be, sir.
Well, here goes.
Oh, if you'll pardon me, sir. Something I'd like to warn you about.
Yes?
I don't quite know how to begin, but it's about the dinner. It won't be up to par. The cook isn't feeling too well.
I dare say it'll be good enough for them.
Yes.
Good evening, Sir Malcolm.
Good evening, John.
Good evening.
Dinner is served.
Worst night in 10 years. Can't remember when the weather was so bad.
Sir Humphrey tells me murders never happen on nights like this. Only in fiction.
Frightfully reassuring, that.
Good.
Here, Jepson. I'll have some more wine.
Yes, sir.
What's wrong with you, John? You seem so quiet. You've hardly eaten a thing.
If you must know, I've been wondering what this party is all about.
John.
Why not be frank, Prissy? I look around me in my own home. Are these my friends?
Look here, my boy.
I believe you are entitled to an explanation. I arranged this party.
That doesn't surprise me. I suspected some sinister purpose behind this.
Well, there you're mistaken. This is farewell, the parting of the ways.
You mean I'll no longer find you in my morning coffee?
That's right.
Good. Let's drink to that. What was that?
Oh, just the wind, John. The shutter in Nanny's room is loose. I'll have it fixed in the morning.
I think we should let the rest of our friends in on our private feud. We've been talking in riddles. You see, unfortunately, I was placed in charge of the Ferguson case.
What's happened now? Where are the lights?
It's the wind, sir. I believe the wires are down.
I think it's lovely by candlelight.
I don't like it.
As I was saying, I was placed in charge of the case. And all my evidence pointed to one suspect. But unfortunately, he had a perfect, unshakable alibi.
I thought you never gave up.
I had to say that in the hopes of scaring my suspect into a confession. It didn't work. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid the murder of Lady Ferguson must remain unsolved. A blemish on the record of Scotland Yard.
I should drink to you, Trent. But as long as you admit defeat, I will drink to your master. To the unknown murderer of Lady Ferguson. What is this, Trent? Some trick?
I beg your pardon, John?
I'm no fool. You can't pull anything like this on me. I knew you'd be up to something. I knew you'd never give up.
I say, old man, is anything wrong? What are you staring at?
This is going too far. I don't think it's funny.
What's the matter, John? Didn't you want me to come back? I couldn't stay away tonight. You've gone too far. I had to come back to stop you.
You see her, don't you?
See whom, John? What on earth are you...
Jepson. Jepson. You see her?
See whom, sir?
My aunt. Don't tell me you can't see her.
No, sir, I can't.
Of course you can't. I'm imagining things.
So you still won't believe. You never believed in anything, did you, John? You don't believe in life, do you? That's why you took mine and that jailer's. Who's next? Who will be your next one, John? For you've got to go on, you know. You can't stop. One leads to another endlessly.
Stop her! Stop her, I say!
Stop whom, my boy? There's no one there.
I don't see anyone either, Mr. Bedford.
Where are your gloves tonight, John? You can't kill without them, you know.
Shut up. Shut up, you fool. You can't torture me. I got you once, and I'll get you again. I'll kill her again! I'll kill her again!
All right, boys, take him away. Now, where's my actress?
Miss, where is she?
Where's Vera?
It's funny, she was here a moment ago. I wonder where she could have gone.
If you'll excuse me, sir. This telegram arrived a short time ago. I didn't want to disturb you.
Thank you, Jepson. Great Scott.
What's wrong, Bill?
I don't know. Here, let me read this to you. Extremely sorry, influenza makes it impossible for me to leave my bed tonight. Will tomorrow night do? Vera Cavanaugh.
But that wasn't Vera Cavanaugh.
Must have been a... It's Nanny's handkerchief.
Did you give Vera a handkerchief?
I don't remember. I don't think I did.